Hello, folks. Rever here with another episode of Grazyland. I didn't even call it Grizzlyland. Anyway, I'm sitting here with my pickup truck, and one of the reasons that I got the pickup truck is it's a fairly friendly vehicle for buzzing around and looking at the condition of each of the fields. So I can see I have some weed prevention in this field. I'm wondering if I have it in all of them. But that's kind of good because that'll keep the weeds from growing up if we leave these lay for a few days. But other than that, I'm noticing, we lost, as I mentioned in the last episode, more or less 17% moisture, or I'm sorry, 14%, for the fact that it was over 22 degrees at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll have to account for that, and our pH is just about where you'd want it at 6.8. Our nutrients N are at 5, and that's exactly where you want them. That's the ideal. And same thing with pK. Unfortunately, we are going to grow some crops, and because of that, the nutrients will change. But I just want to run around real quick and make sure each of the fields is, this. Let me hit. Never mind, I'll figure it out in a minute. Anyway, let's run around and see that each of the fields is pretty much the same. I get off the edge because you get a little bit of a reading from the grass there. So this field's certainly pretty uniform. Oh, geez. By the way, I cut some trees, if you didn't notice. I went around with my Bronx chipper and took care of enough, at least be able to get the sprayer in and out of the field fairly easily. We're going to do too much spraying on all these fields to be messing around. At some point, I might even buy a second sprayer just to cut down on the time. It's been a few days since I recorded anything for Gifts of the Caucasus, so I do want to get back to that. I'm going to put up my last episode today. Not the last episode, but the last one that I had recorded. I'll probably try to do every other day, one of each. But I'll sort of record a series of them, and then I'll release them. I don't want to get too far ahead of your guys' comments. So, by the way, I'm still just obviously driving and keeping my eye a little bit on the field conditions, and they're all the same, so there's no worries. But once in a while I've seen it where things are a little different. So this is field 1. It's the same. Let's shoot over to field 7. I figured out what to do with these traffic lights already. This right here. I might even cut down some trees, I was thinking. That's how you miss the traffic light right there. Oops. Do I still got potatoes in the field? Looks like I do, don't I? Yeah, there's potatoes in there. So I guess I gotta go drop them off. But yeah, all the fields are the same. So that's good. So make our lives a little bit easier for this next step. Let's just get out of the way, park this here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to hit escape and then go back out to Windows and go to our sheet. And usually what I'll do is, delete all of this. Okay. No color. Oops. And then what that light blue is after I've actually sprayed what we're talking about. So anything here in the green is what we would delete. So we're just going to delete all the numbers out of the green here. Generally speaking, these white numbers, are calculations. So see how this is this plus this plus this. If I double click, you can kind of see I add this to whatever's here to get the next number. So what did we say? We said this was at 5, this was at 4, 6.8, 4.3. So we're going to come down here, and I'm going to rename the sheet field. Well, let's start with field 2. How does that sound? So field 2 will be the first field that we plant. And then we'll do field 5, why not? All right, get rid of that, get rid of this. Probably could have done this off camera, huh? No, that would have been smart. But again, you guys can see exactly what I do this way too, so I'll get it. Yeah, we'll just leave that. I don't know what I'm going to plant in the fields just yet, so we'll rename sheet field 5. And I'm going to take this sheet and I'm going to right click and hit copy move sheet. You got to check this little box here, and it doesn't really matter, but I'll say insert it right in before here. So now we got field 14.2. We'll rename this one 3. Invalid sheet name. Oh, I already got a field 3. Okay. Well, let's name it 4 then. And we'll rename this one, what do we say, 7 and 1 together, right? So let's name this sheet field 1. And I still really, I want them to be in numeric order so that it's in numeric order. And we'll make another one of these. Oops. This time we'll just move it. We'll take a look. Now I'm forgetting. So 1 and 7 we'll do together. 3 and 4 will be kind of big. We'll do together. Not sure that there's any real benefit other than the building up the crops that we need. So let's just take a look at what we can grow. Quite a few things. For now, I think I'll stick with normal-ish stuff just for the sake of the soil mod. Didn't plant any canola. We can do that. We had some corn, potatoes. We didn't have sugar beets. So we'll be sure to do some canola and some sugar beets. Not sure how many sugar beets I want to do, but field 1 looks like a nice size for some sugar beets. Okay. Let's hit escape. Jump back over here real quick. Now that I remember which field goes with this one. All right, so let me just clean this up a bit. Probably could have even cleaned it up before I copied it, huh? Same with this one. So you can see where I stopped right in the middle of doing something. All right, so we know that each of the field has 3 days worth of herbicide. So that for these fields on these other days, we might have to worry at the very end of these, but we'll kind of take a look and spray it with a dose if we have to, as we get closer. So the only field we're really going to worry about right now is this, and since it says canola, I have no problems with planting big field 2 with some canola. Let's come up to field 5, and what did we say? Field 1 would be good for sugar beets. make it look fancy since we're on TV or YouTube. Alright, so then field 7's that little tiny one. Yeah, why don't we do rye in field 7? And we'll do wheat in... we'll do oat. Can we do oat? I'm sure we can. If we can do rye, I want to figure we'll do oat in field 5. Why not? Let's do a little more barley. Why not? I'm not sure that I need anything in particular. We got something different in every field. Yes, but yeah, sugar beets. Okay. So for now, we'll just worry about this because I know I don't have to spray these fields as far as herbicide goes today because I have some on there. That would have been one of my tasks that I would do rather than just let the weeds grow up because the weeds act just like grass would and they suck the nutrients out of it and it makes your field all lopsided, so to speak. So it is important to get the weeds out of there. So, since we're at 5 and 4, this part here is showing us what we're going to lose with each of the growth stages. So, hopefully, we'll do the harvest stage, so we don't really have to worry about this too much, but we have to get it up so that this line here, is in good shape. And one of the things we'll want to do, because after we prepare it, we're going to lose after we planting. So this is just sown, so this is after we plant. We're going to come in here and put in some herb. Canola is C. So if you come down on the sheet right here, we have that canola like C. So I kind of remember it, CC. Maize is corn in English, so that's kind of another C one. What happened to my... There we go. Oop, I said C. So we're going to do herb CC. I always spray the double dose. And why is that acting like that? Because that font is white. That's kind of weird. So, herb CC is going to add 14 moisture. It is also going to take away a pH. So if you look over here, nitrogen adds 5 nitrogen but subtracts 0.2 pH. PK adds 3 and 3. I'm not sure why it says 3 and 3. Should just be it adds. Well, it's because P is one nutrient and K is another. So it's really just adding 3 PK. And then NPK is 3 and 1, basically. So lime increases the pH when cultivated. We're not going to cultivate this field. The cultivator that is on the rapid seeder or the other ones that are like that, the seeding cultivators, does not count towards that 0.8. And I think this might actually be 0.9 and this might be 0.7, but it's close enough for me. We're not going to slurry or manure at this point. I should have a note somewhere. Herbicides minus 0.2 pH. So what I'll do is come in here and put in 0.2. Oops. There we go. So far, if we just sprayed herb, this is where we would end up. This over here is giving us like our score, which you can see at this point is actually in the negative. We wouldn't end up with much of anything. So what I'm thinking of is for every growth cycle, you lose 2 PK. So in this case, a good thing to do might be to do 2 NPKs. And you can't do the same nutrient in the same day. So like in other words, any one of these two, if you sprayed PK, if you oversprayed on, if you then sprayed NPK, you would just get the benefits of NPK, which like we said is 3 and 1, 3, 1, oops, 1, and we can't forget our water. So now if we look at this row, we're at 7 on our nitrogen, but we're at 4 on our PK, and our pH has dropped down all the way to 6.4. So what that's telling me is I probably want to maybe even here. Well, I do want to try a little experiment with this field when it comes to it. We'll spread some lime out We're not going to cultivate it, obviously, certainly not on the right before the final growth stage there. But we're going to put in 0.6. So that'll get us up to 7, which really we didn't have to do anything. It's not so low that I think it would cause big problems. But one of the things you can do here is take a look at, even if it's not 100% accurate, kind of get an idea where you're at. So we were at, right here, 82. If I spread the lime and put 0.6 in here, it goes up to 86. So it's going to help overall. Like if I came in here and said, oh, let's spread another NPK and put in a 3 and a 1, you'll see we drop down to 48. So again, I'm going to conduct a little experiment while we're doing this map and really try to be careful about, measuring how much crop I get versus my numbers. So there you go. I think that's probably about as close as we're ever going to get. Honestly, these fields are, you're going to have a hard time. If we wanted to wait an extra day, we could get 91. But if you wait a day, you lose a day's worth of crop growth. If you think about it, you're not going to get any more crop, or you're going to get a little bit, 5% more. But you could have planted a new crop, and that's sort of like 25% more. So, there's really rarely any reason to wait an extra day. Now, if you had a situation like this where one extra day would drop you from 56 to 86, it's probably worth waiting that extra day, but I've never really had that happen for me. Now, the one issue you'll see is that our water will be a little bit low. And you can spread water, anytime you want, like once a day, basically. And this adds at midnight. It doesn't do anything at 12 o'clock. And even though water would give you 28, it's only going to give you 28 here. Like, in other words, the spreading of these two isn't additive. It's just going to give you the higher value. Sort of like the water overrides the moisture that's in the NPK. Not sure why exactly that's the way it is, but that's just the way it is. Now, what I'm curious about, and I'm willing to take my chances, maybe I'm not. Let's do this. Let's cut that. We don't really need to. And then I'm going to do lime here, because I want to see if this lime actually adds 14 to it. I'll even put a little question mark right there. Because I've spread the liquid lime before, and it hasn't. I know when you spread with the spreader, you're not going to add moisture, and that we can use to our advantage at times if the fields get too wet. So this will allow me to, because I'm doing this lime, I'm going to see if that next day does the moisture go up, and if it does, then I won't spray the water. So let's get rid of this right there. There we go. So you can see kind of why I didn't want to do this at the last of the end. We've just done one field. Now, the secret truth is, for the most part, all of these fields are going to do the same thing. They're all at the same level. I'll have to change those numbers. I'll do that off camera. Get them all to say the same thing up here. You notice they're different. So there we go. So that's, right now we'll get out on the farm. We'll spray some Herb CC on field number 2, and that's really the only plan for today. Oh, the other thing, this should be Monday. I think it's the first day on the farm. What I will do is, see how this one's Tuesday? That's one of the other reasons I keep these Wednesday. Oops, see, this one should say Thursday. No, it should say Wednesday. And what I should do is this. Move that guy down. Move that guy up. So, this will help me keep track of exactly what I'm doing each day. And then if I turn this light blue in a few minutes, then I'll know, okay, I already did this field. And, it'll be days later. In real life, it might be a couple days later before I come back and say, okay, what was I going to do? Hopefully this question mark will remind me of that. So there we go. So that's the spreadsheet. So we can get back to work. So field 2 is on the other side, and we'll just jump in. I've already started calling the spraying tractor. And we're sitting here close enough that I can hit O. And we said we were going to spray some CC after the harvest, or after the planting. So let's get that guy out there. Sometimes I just stage something like this so that I don't forget what I'm supposed to do next. Well, that theory has backfired at times a little bit. And then we'll go get the planter and get out into the field and get some work done. That's not the way to go. However, I did find a repair shack. I don't know if you guys know how this works. It took me a little bit to figure it out, but this has been true on every map. You have to get out. If you look at the F1, it says press R. So you press R and then you just sit there and wait until it gets 100%. So two of the things, or one of the things, is 100%. And now they both are. Or 0%. So I figure I'll keep them in good shape. It's kind of killing me a little bit to be careful around these stupid gates. So as you can see, I cut some trees here. Again, it's as much about getting onto the field in a friendly manner. Bring it down this way. That, so you guys can see the mountains. Completely out of the way. And then I will go to, yeah, why not this guy? It's the bigger of the two T8s. Where was I putting this stuff? Over in there. This farm. Let's just say if I had a backhoe, I would probably rearrange this farm a bit. If I had a bulldozer to that big hump in the middle. I think this is where I was putting the different harvesting stuff. More damage. Probably should repair this guy before I put it away. It'll be days now. Now that I've harvested all these fields, there's not going to be any harvesting to do for in-game for days at a time. 4 days. So I think I put the planters over this way. Yeah, and that'll give us some time. Like I said, I'm going to get back to Gifts of the Caucasus and come back to here. This for you guys will be sort of an every other day thing. And this is... Didn't I get a corn planter? It's not the corn planter. Corn and sugar beet planter should be somewhere. Let's take a look before we get too far. Yeah. I wonder where that guy got off. Well, this guy. I wonder where he got off to. I'll figure it out. I don't know where to fill this guy with seed. Oh, over by where the fertilizer guy came from, which is over here. In there. This guy's, because he's a bendy bus. Can I get close enough this way? I'm just going to run into that. That again. Select seed. I can do that. So what do we say? Canola? Rape. That's right. Yeah, he's not letting me. Yep, there we go. We can get close enough. Happy days. Oh, look, we can refill with full fuel while we're at it. Wonderful. Oh, I don't like these are all so close. Zoom the camera so I don't make you guys seasick. Yeah, see, I would make a nice paved road right across here. I don't care if it's by the chicken bar. That takes us reasonably close to this road, which is right where the entrance is to the field. And I'm just going to set this guy on course play. Course play do its things. I may do a couple extra headlands. Yeah, so nice to get rid of some of these trees. I appreciate trees. Alright, so let's start here. We're going to do seeding. Field 2. 9, I think, is correct. I think I just checked on the other map not long ago, so I'm going to just go with that. Northeast, going south, headlands. So we're going to do 2 headlands, but we're going to plant the crops first, and then we're going to do the headlands. So let's come up here because I like this. Spin around, and that'll just help keep them away from the trees a little bit. And if you miss it, well, you know what I'm going to do? I changed my mind. I want to do 3. Let's do 3 headlands. Field 2. Calculate again. And you may miss a little extra in the corners, but we'll come back and change this to him only doing 2, and that'll cause him to. No, sorry, I'm sorry about this. I do want to do it. Let's do 2 now, and then when it comes to doing the headlands, we'll tell him to do 3 headlands, and that'll help overlap the 2 things. Alright. Hope that makes sense what I just said. Alright, so now, first waypoint, drive course. Now this one also, by the way, if you do have the crop destruction like I do, this guy will erase it. So keep that in mind. You can drive over this and then replant, and it won't leave tram lines in your field. So there we go. We are plowing a field, and the stupid ridge markers are on. Z, there's not much difference in what he's done and what he hasn't done. Let's make sure everything looks good on this. Growth. Yeah, there's a little blue line of growth. Alright, so away he goes. When he gets done, I'll show you what I meant about or when he gets close to done, I'll show you what I meant about adding some extra headlands and just kind of resetting him on his way to go around the last few turns. I'll cover up some of his mistakes. Though this guy usually does pretty well with this combination. Alright, let me pause the recording, and I will be back in a few minutes. Seconds. Hello guys, another start with the pickup truck, but I drove up here to the field 31 just to check it out with you guys. It is fully grown. If we come to here, you know, you don't get any more grown than that darker color green that everything is. At least I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow, maybe it won't, but I thought, well, let me harvest it. And in addition to that, back on these fields, I have some windrow. So the main reason I'm popping on real quick here, before I said I would, is I want to take a look at this Chrome Big X. Now, I'm not sure why I would get this one versus the in-game. This one's cheaper, and I'm not sure if that's just a cheat, but since I've already been so liberated with money, this is part of the same pack that the trailer came from. So I'm thinking that this may do a better job of pulling the trailer. I'll show you the trailer I mean in a minute. So let's buy this. And then there's nothing, I think I have to go to the headers. Yep, to get a header. And I'm going to get two headers. One, I want this easy flow for picking up the windrow. And I want this guy for picking up the grass, or cutting the grass. And then tippers, I think it is. Yep, this guy. So if you watched my last series, Gifts of the Caucasus, you'll notice that I was pulling this guy around, but he kept getting stuck. So I'm kind of curious, even for the benefit of the Gifts of the Caucasus, if this guy just seems to do a better job. So let me hit Control E. Oops, Control. Oh, I have to be in a vehicle. Control E. And there we go. We're in the crone, and where should I put the crone? Let's try to put him in group 10. Yep. And then Control E again. I said, I think the first thing I'm going to do is get out of the cab. I don't like the cab myself. I've tried it. It's been a long time if I've used this one versus the in-game one. It certainly has a bit of a different sound, I think. See, I got it from Mod Roaster from the main. This is going to be a journey. Alright, well, I'm going to go out and cut this. Oh, I got a green light. It's like the first time I've ever had a green light. Look, and it's because I'm on the other side of the road. Yeah. I don't know if I can get rid of those red lights or not, but... And I damaged my truck 10% cutting across the grass. Now look, it does this thing. Hit something on the roads. You can see, look, that's definitely a green light, no doubt about it, in any country. But I'll get a red light on it. Oh, I managed to miss the red light trigger. Yeah, so I'm wondering if I can't, I don't know, make the lights green all the time. Or something. You know what? Cheat myself in money at this point. I'm just, between the red lights, I don't think the neighbors are watching. We'll just cut right on across the easy way. Not a big fan of just cutting across the easy way, but there's the edge of my grass field anyhow, so I'm going to start at the southeast corner. Field work gets this open, and it's field number 31. Oh, because it's all grass? Well, we can solve that. We got a pickup truck up here, right? Yeah, seeder's still running. That's a good sign. Might as well start here. Let me get some sort of line that's Probably pretty reasonable. I might even move it out a little bit more. I don't care if he overlaps it, just as soon as he get everything. And we can put that on. And we're just going to do an outline of this field then. Oh, no, I didn't leave that guy in the way. Very good. So you don't want to go out of control fast, but other than that, it really doesn't matter your speed for this outline. I wish it wasn't wiggling so much. Alright, so now we're going to turn this 90 degrees. Oops, move it the other way till he's overlapping a tiny bit. Turn this off for a second. Yeah, I don't want the cruise control on. It's bobbling around too much. It really didn't overlap much there, did I? Life will go on. Right, let's turn 90 degrees again. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, he cuts the corner a little more than I would have. But... and I didn't overlap much again. But we're awful close to the line. We'll see how he does. So yeah, I'll even start, writing down how much grass I get. I will store some of it. I will. Oh, I'm not cutting grass, am I? Well, let's just. Almost messed up there. Let's turn this guy 90 degrees. Where'd he go? 90 degrees, I said. That's strange. Alright, well, let's get this. Yeah, that's really not a good turn there, is it? Hopefully we can get away with that number. Alright. Hopefully that doesn't mess anything up. Close. He may leave a little in the corners. It's okay. Alright, I'm sure that's close enough. Almost too close. No, that's fine. So what we're going to do is save that as F31 outline. And really we have this border all the way around it already, so I'm not sure why we're not picking up that we own it. And it's definitely green right there, right? Oh, but there is that arrow out there too, isn't there? Let's run down here real quick. It's not like we can't harvest it whether we own it or not. No, there's no blue dot thingy. So we own the field. I'm not sure why it's not coming up on horseplay, but whatever. Let's get him out of the way a little bit more. Jump over to our crone. Load up field 31 outline. Currently loaded course. Take that down to 6. Coordinate south, what's ahead, southwest, and east. I'm going to do one headland just because there are some trees fairly close. Let's see what he does. Why did he turn that? South. Starting all the way down that end for some reason. Alright, well, let's get the pickup truck out of the way, I guess, then. And then we can just drive them down there ourselves, I suppose. What did I do? Oh, That's about what I expected to have happen. Put it on nearest. Reasonable sitting there. I just didn't like stuff. Alright, well, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do to chase this chaff. Probably just put it into this guy. And I'm sure you probably have already seen enough of it. Gets to the Caucasus. I'm not even sure where I'm going to take all this chaff. I'll get this guy up there and come back, like I said, when that field is seeded. Other than that, be probably close to an episode. Spray some herbicide CC and then we'll be done for the day, really. It'll be all the work. Though there is plenty of work here. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in a second. Guys, I'm back. Field 2 is almost done here. And the reason that I would... The reason that I would have sent him out on headlands is not a problem. It's a little hard to see, so that's why I'm down on the ground here. But so this is the part that's not planted, and he went back and forth up this way. Sometimes when they make the turn, they don't, they leave those little rows like where they're not lined up quite yet. But it doesn't look like that's the case here at all. It looks like my Big Crone X decided to hit something. This all the way out there. Every time here. Just missed that tree. There's the one tree that sticks out there. Yeah, this field is pretty big. So I have this guy chasing, but he ain't keeping up at all. Alright, so in any event, back to this action. Yeah, so he's doing a pretty good job seeding this field. He doesn't need my help. When I'm doing the soil mod, I definitely like to get everything covered real well, or else you end up with spots with higher nutrients than the rest of it. He'll leave some stuff in the corners. I'm not sure how much I'm going to worry about that stuff in the corners. I may run around and clean it up, but I'll do that off camera if I do. So yeah, so overall he's done a real nice job. And like I said, this is usually a pretty dependable setup as far as horseplay goes. And then we'll be ready to spray this field, which I'd like to do in the next episode. So I'm going to continue getting this windrow off the fields. This field will be planted. It's already 3:30 in the afternoon, so I should have plenty of time today to get this windrow off and get the chaff going down to the silo. I'm also going to take this guy. I was cutting across country. but I decided to bring some chaff down here and throw it in the silage bin. And I'll also do the same thing with some straw. Just kind of get, I don't need to put it all in the BGM. Really don't need any of it in there, but I guess I'll need some money for things, so I don't plan on giving myself anything more. I gave myself plenty. I know I saw a TMR machine someplace. Let's find that real quick, and then so I see a silage pit back there. Maybe a good place to run some. There it is. The only problem with this guy, hopefully I can get him from this angle. Will he unload? I think can't really see where he's at. Last one. Nope. So you could put chaff in these. I guess not. Alright, well, I'll find some place to put it. I hope you guys liked the episode. I hope you have a good day. And I will talk to you in the near future. Take care. Bye-bye.